Okay, Chris, it looks like we are live on Twitch this afternoon with episode 26 of the Collective Gamescast. How you doing, bro?
Doing pretty good, man. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good. For those who don't know, I am at the Malgadar on Twitter. That's my co-host right there, at ChrisBCGC, and we're gonna hang out. We got a couple things to do today. As you can see, Chris, I started you off with a little surprise today.
Yeah.
A little division, and not the math kind. I know that wouldn't really be a good surprise, would it? Like, grade school is over.
That's how I quit. It's like, you know what? Nah, I'm done.
They were like, long division forever. You were like, I am out. Forget it. I'm done.
You know what? I do this to last throughout life, but I did not want to do it right now, so I'm done. That's it.
Yeah. So, you had been asking me some questions about the division. I've been wanting to stream it. I figured we'd spend a few minutes at the beginning of the episode here, do a little division streaming, you know.
Yeah.
So you could check it out. Because to this point, man, I'm thinking that this game has the goods, man. I'm really liking what they're doing here.
It looks really nice, and I've seen some streams, and it looks like the one fear I had was that it was going to be exactly like Destiny.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I'm feeling like there's some differences, but go ahead.
It looks a lot better than what I expected it to be. The gameplay looks like it's going to be a lot. It pretty much looks like when you're playing a regular first-person shooter, except now you have squad mates and it's actually legit.
Yeah,
It's
well,
not, you know.
Oh, here we go. Somebody needs something from me.
You ever need me? I'm there. If I can be.
I take it that guy's infected.
There's just I don't know. There's just these citizens walking around who like want some of your resources, and if you give it to them, you get some experience and like an appearance item.
Ah.
So, I generally hook them up because I kind of am a hoarder and don't use stuff anyway. So I'm like, here, take it. Give me the EXP and the appearance item. You know. Yeah, so you see I got the orange line up there guiding me, my little orange GPS.
Which is pretty cool.
Oh, there's a contamination zone there, and an echo. Okay. So here's one of the things that really makes this better than Destiny, in my opinion.
Make it last, okay?
Uh-oh. I think I lost you, buddy.
Lost me? I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I just
You
wasn't
said-
talking. Yeah. I wanted to hear what the echo was doing, but those are a little weird. It's like this like strange image, and you just get an audio recording with it, where you kind of see what happened. There are different intel files you'll actually get that are like videos or cell phone conversations, and I think that's part of what differentiates this from Destiny is that there's actually these things that make the world feel more alive, you know.
Okay.
Like, and some of the stuff happens from like right around the time the disease outbreaks, you know. So like you get a look into like what was happening in certain people's lives, you know, right at the time like shit went down.
Okay.
Yeah. So, let's see. I could probably pull one up actually. Let's see. In my intel. Yeah. Here you go. Like you get something like this, you'll pick up.
Okay.
Yeah, and you see, yeah, it's
Different videos.
yeah, police dashboard video. You know, so like you're kind of seeing like what these guys were doing.
Now this is really cool.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, Destiny never had anything like this that expanded the world. You know. So yeah, there's cool things like that you can find.
Damn.
Yeah, and your
that makes it real.
Your inventory's big too, man. You got your 2 weapon slots, you got your sidearm. all your mods are in one nice little folder. Then you got your chest armor, you got your mask, your knee pads, you got your, what's this one, your backpack, your gloves, and your holster. So like all these things level up, and then you look at an item like this, and you see the one below it now, the green one.
Yeah.
It's got, see how it goes down on the one skill and up on the other?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's so you know when you change it over what happens?
Yeah, so there's like the what you see is the first skill there is the firearms, and then next to it in the middle is the health, and then the third one over is the skill power. So you can see if I equip the green one, my health will go up, my DPS will go down.
Okay.
So those are the kind of decisions you have to make. You know. So it really makes picking between them a pain in the ass. Plus there's other things on there. Like the backpacks have capacity for how many items you can hold.
Okay.
And there's other things, just like actual skills that are on each item. So there's a lot to do in picking between your gear. Like last night I got caught up for over an hour just on gear. Like just managing gear back in town. So, you know, and I finally yelled at myself, like, what are you doing? You're not even having trouble right now. Why are you worried about this, you know? And then this screen I don't use too much, but it gives you a breakdown of all your skills and where you're at.
Yeah.
Your appearance, this is where you can actually change your look in here. Your pouches just shows you like your crafting materials and special things. You know.
Get any cool jackets?
Not really yet. I need a duster, you know.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Duster's awesome.
Now here's your abilities. And you got the 3 trees, the medical, tech, security. So like medical, you get like a recon pulse, shows you where all enemies and allies are. Tech, you get the sticky bomb. And security, you get the ballistic shield.
So if you have friends, you can have each one kind of.
Yeah, and you can see right.
Spot and max them out.
You can see right now I have the sticky bomb equipped, and I have the second medical skill equipped for first aid.
Mm-hmm.
So I can heal myself and I can throw the sticky bomb. But you could switch these on the fly. So like I can right now just go right to ballistic shield and replace the sticky bomb if I want.
So you get 2 at once, or do you get 1 per level?
You get 1 in the beginning, and then you have to level up. At certain levels, you get it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's 1 more skill slot. You can only have 3 of them, it looks like. And it says you have to unlock a signature skill for that. And those are the bottom tier ones.
Okay.
Yeah, these ones down here at the bottom. So I'm not up to that yet. Because you have to upgrade your medical tech and security wings back at base to unlock further skills.
Okay.
Like this one here for mobile cover is telling me I need a security wing upgrade of armory. So, until I upgrade the armory, I can't even get that skill.
Okay.
Then you got your talents, which I only have 1 right now, but it says my next slot unlocks at level 15.
Yep.
And these are all different things you get for upgrading the wings unlocks these things.
Okay.
I think right now, what do I got? I got the one, if I use my sidearm to kill somebody, I receive 30 rounds from my primary weapon.
Oh shit, that's very useful.
Yeah, well sometimes I've run out of ammo on my sniper rifle, so it helps, you know. But there's a bunch of good ones in there.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then there's also the perks, and these are just passives. So I got the security wing thing for the bonus XP, and I got the medical wing one to carry an extra med kit. Yeah. Now you see at the bottom here on your HUD that kind of hangs out on the side of you. I got the 30 of 610. That's my clip and my total ammo for my assault rifle.
Okay.
And then I've got the 11. I believe that's the items in my backpack. Yeah. I actually don't know for sure what that 11 is. Or is that... No, that's this. Yeah, that's my backup weapon. I got 11 rounds in the clip. Yeah. Now, the 3 orange bars there, that's your health. And and see how there's like the 2 break points in it?
Yep.
Your health regenerates, but if you go below a bar, it doesn't. So, yeah. And that's when you have...
Nice.
Yeah, you got your grenades there with the left on the D-pad. You got all your different ones. Flashbang, frag, incendiary, tear gas. Yeah. And then on the right, you have the little plus for the med kits, and I have 2 of them right now because I gave one to that wandering person.
Readings indicate this area is contaminated. Warning. Contaminated supplies.
Yeah, I can see myself playing a lot of time in this game.
Alert. Contamination scan initiated.
Yeah, I'm really liking it so far. I wasn't sure what I would make of it, if it would just be another Destiny, but right now it's giving me the impression it's a lot better. Like, it's got a lot more going for it.
Alert. Contamination scan initiated.
It wants me to go up on this side. Okay, yeah. So this is just a little side mission I'm doing right now.
Where are the enemies, man?
I don't know. I'm wondering the same thing.
You gotta shoot somebody in the head. Then we're like, alright, this is a good game. Okay. Headshots, we're good.
What's that one? Yeah, I don't actually know where to go for this. This is a rather confusing moment here. Oh, is it over here? Okay. I missed that ladder the first time. Oh, flamers, great. Or cleaners, whatever they call themselves. Here we go. How about a little sticky bomb action?
So you shoot the sticky bomb and then detonate it?
Yeah.
Now that's cool.
So you can wait for like an enemy with it stuck to him and maybe run into a group of his friends. Although they never do.
I like that explosion.
Yes. That was the propane tank. Those dudes are kind enough to carry explosives on them. Alright, there we
Contamination
go.
scan completed. Data uploaded to JTF servers.
How many factions are there?
It seems like there's like the obligatory like raider types.
Yeah.
Like very Fallout like. They also talk about a group called the Rikers. Oh, 2 blue items, nice. And another group, the cleaners that you just saw. They haven't gotten too deep into the groups or like what their motivations are, but it seems to me that the cleaners are all about doing like trying to burn everything to kill the virus.
Yep.
So
Kill it with fire.
yeah, exactly. Just burn everything and clean it. But I don't know. They could have something else going on. The game hasn't really done much to explain that yet. And it hasn't really stopped me from putting holes in all of them, so it works. There's probably a shortcut back over there. I should have looked around better. Here I am running all the way back the long way now. One thing that I don't like is you take damage from falls.
That's normal.
Yeah, I hate that. I always like that Borderlands let me just run around and jump off any cliff, you know. Like right now, I just want to hop off that ladder. I don't want to be, you know.
Under a bar.
Yeah, like I just want to hop down and get moving, you know. Oh, wait.
Do you get... oh, wait, you probably already have shield. Is that what the blue bar is?
No, that's actually my contamination filter.
What's he doing now? He's going into a jewelry store.
Oh my god. You know what this means?
It doesn't mean anything.
No grown man goes into...
Now leaving the contaminated area.
Yeah, I found a phone Record. Oh, another one right up ahead here. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Now
That was such a useless call, but it adds to the realism.
Guess who got seats to the game tonight? You got tickets? Yeah, Lamar couldn't go.
Okay, he's
So I
going
was
to the
like,
jewelry store.
who do I
You
know?
know what
Who's
that
a guy and a
means?
hoops fan?
I'm actually not feeling that well.
Well, you sure? Look out your window.
What the? Is that you in the limo?
So how about it? You feeling better yet?
Oh man. Okay, here's another one of them people wants my stuff. Jeez. They all want my med kits. They gave me a gun. Okay, so, oh, here's another area. Now, say it's telling me level 9 to 12, and that there's a safe house here, but I haven't found it yet. So we're gonna stay away from there. I'm only 7. Oh, wow. Some new intel items. Oh, that's right. I have this perk unlocked, right? Every time I complete every mission in an area, it shows me where every piece of intel in the whole area is.
Oh, no, that's nice.
Yeah, because I was like, I want to hunt all these down.
Yep.
There's a appearance item rewards and stuff for finding them, too, so there's actually reasons to want to do it. Not to mention, those are the things that actually bring this game most to life.
Yeah, the guy who's sick didn't want to go to the Jets game.
Yeah. But, like, those, I don't know. I like some of that stuff, you know. I think I
made it a
found...
little more real, like, because there's not many Jets fans, are there?
Yeah, there are, actually. I feel like I'm constantly running into Jets fans, and
Dude, I don't get
they're
how they
whining,
exist.
and it's like, you know what, shut up. You won a Super Bowl. Like, I
How
don't
do
want to
they
hear
exist
your
outside?
problems.
Like, how do they exist outside of New York? Like, I don't get that.
I don't know.
What kind of person are you?
Well, I can't blame him for leaving New York. Look at it. It looks like this. It's terrible. Yeah. What's also cool is there is a story going on in this game beyond what's happening. Like, when you establish the Medwing, one of the first things they want to do is, like, start working on trying to figure out, like, what's going on with the virus and what started it. So,
okay. So
yeah, so that's kind of the mystery now that I'm just getting started on trying to solve.
Okay.
Oh, here's the...
Hey, check this shit out. Held up a guy at this penthouse
There's a
uptown,
lot
right?
of water.
Made him open up his safe, and this is inside.
Well, actually,
Echo nearby.
normally not, to be honest, because you got to remember, I've done every mission in this area.
Okay.
This map was, like, full of stuff at first, and I did everything, so... Oh, wow.
It's like a riot.
Anywhere else to go? We were told that we
Yep.
had shelter.
That's a riot.
This is your final warning. Vacate the area or be forcefully removed. You are interfering with... Son of a bitch!
Faster, motherfuckers!
This is kind of cool.
Yeah, wow. I feel like that's the kind of thing, if they had had more time, they would have been able to flesh those out a little better. Or maybe they wanted them to be like that, I don't know. So here, let me show you the map here. Look at somebody, yeah, like, see over in this area? This is kind of what I'm up to now, Hudson Yards. Got a mission here,
Okay.
encounter here, side op here. This mission I already did. This, another one here. Safe house, another encounter, another side mission, encounter, side mission. So, there's stuff all over, which is what I like, because once I get going, I have all this stuff to pick from.
Okay.
So here, I'm going to fast travel to this area where there's more stuff to do.
That was my next question.
Yep. Yeah, once you find a safe house, you can teleport to it at any time.
Okay.
So, yeah. Yeah, so far, man, I am very hooked on the game.
Readings indicate this area is safe.
Okay, now you see I'm in a shared area.
Yeah, I know. I know Drew has the game. You could probably get more people in. 3 people. So that's the squad can only be 3 people big, right?
No, I did a mission last night that was 4. So there might be, yeah, there might be something more to it. Let's go.
Warning. Now we're exiting the safe area.
Agent, we've got a supply crate down that needs some attention before someone else finds it. We can do this.
Whoa. Oh, one of these things. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about these. They do the, Oh, it's this way. Yeah, they do these, like, tracer things where you gotta, like, hunt stuff down and follow it.
Okay.
There we go. Found it. It, like, keeps pointing you in the right direction. Luckily, I found the 4th of 5, so it just pointed me right to the last one. But, like, before I found one, but it was 1 of 5. Then I had to follow it to 2 of 5, you know, and then 3. And, yeah. Here we go. Let's see if I get my ass handed to me here or what. I'm defending supplies. No, I'm not, because I gotta get to supplies up there.
Warning. Incoming hostiles.
Oh, how am I supposed to get up there? See, this is when the game drives me nuts. When it doesn't... Is that a ladder? Oh, that's a cord, okay.
Warning. Supplies taking fire.
There we go. See, I couldn't see that little green rope there that I needed to get up.
Okay.
Warning. Incoming hostiles.
I will say I like the way it looks. It looks like games in New York. This is what I expect it to look like. This guy's not too bright.
Yeah, no, the game's definitely got a really cool, like, art style and such.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like my long-range rifle.
Yeah. I had no idea what was happening. Oh, shit! How do you react to that? Your friend just got his head blown off.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I'll admit the enemy AI is not exactly amazing, but...
Supplies taking fire. Warning. Incoming hostiles.
Ah, shit, all the way down here. Yeah, these defend the supply crates are not my favorite missions. Oh, what are you doing? Why the hell did he get up out of cover?
You got it! Just like I myself recovered some endangered supplies in Season 3. Maybe later on you could put in a word with casting. You know what? Let's do lunch when this thing blows over.
Use my healing skill there since I took a little more damage than I'd like. Yeah, but that's pretty much the progression of the game for the small missions. It's just run here, do this, run here, do that. Get a little something, and move on.
Yeah. Is there a first-person mode, or is it always in third?
I think it's always in third, because it is a cover shooter.
Makes sense.
Yeah, although I do a lot of my time down the sights anyway, so... mark something so when I pick it up later, I'll know where to go. Oh, and it's funny because there's this Carmen coffee. It's basically Starbucks. Yeah. But they're everywhere.
Makes sense.
Okay, here we go. Oh, I hate you. There we go.
Ooh.
Just do a little healing skill. All good. See, when you're not very good at shooters, you make sure you keep the healing skill. That's all. You just got to know your weaknesses, Chris.
It's the truth.
It's all about strategy.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm the type of guy that just kind of runs in and then gets surrounded. It's like, oh shit. Probably should have paid more attention to that.
It's actually a lot cooler when you play with a group, though. Because, like, I was doing that the other night. And,
okay.
I'm going to quit out now so we can get to talking. I think I showed you enough at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. There we go. Just going to close you play here. Okay. Alright, so, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the rhythm of the game, though, you know. But when I was in the group, that's what I was going to tell you. It was cool because they would draw fire, you know. So, we're working together, but they were doing better than me because this was my first group mission, and I was kind of lagging behind early on trying to keep up with them, and, you know, they're killing stuff before I'm getting shots off, and as I start finding my rhythm, I started to realize, like, hey, for once I'm playing this game and not every enemy's looking at me. And I was like, I'm going to sneak around the side. To hell with this, you know? And I started just flanking everything.
There you go.
And then I started contributing a lot more to the group, you know?
What about weapon attachments? So if you got, like a nice silencer or anything, that changes gameplay?
Yeah, the suppressors don't really silence the guns. They reduce threat. Okay. So, solo doesn't seem to be helping me any right now. In a group it might, though. Because I was getting a lot of headshots when I did a group mission last night. And I was not drawing a lot of aggro, so...
Okay.
Yeah. The suppressors are a bit disappointing at this point, but I'm still so early. As far as the other mods, though, they're pretty good. Like, my assault rifle has a laser attachment, but it's an over-the-barrel laser attachment. So, I still have a scope, you know, on the top. Okay. So, I have the laser and scope combination on it, you know. They got the grips for the underbarrel, the extended magazines, which I think you saw me pick one of those up in that loot chest. Yeah, but the modding, it's there, you know. It's decent. I like, you know, let me add stuff to my weapons, you know.
It's the best part.
Yeah, I mean, my marksman's rifle now has a 12x scope on it, an extended magazine, a suppressor, and a custom skin. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, the stuff's there.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. So, I'm having fun with it. I still have that tentative nervousness. It's going to turn into Destiny at the end and just be kind of bland. But I'm starting to think not, because all that, like, those intel reports and the mission structure, the whole game feels so much more alive than Destiny ever did. You know, Destiny was just like you and your, like, nagging wife robot just going out and doing stuff. It was just like, go here, murder everything, and... You know,
listen, Destiny was an MMO. Like, it was basically the MMO, you know?
Yeah, this game feels like somewhere in between. Like, it's got more of a loot shooter feel to it, like a Borderlands would. And I like that.
So it kind of hit that sweet spot.
Well, for me, kill stuff, get loot is my favorite loop, so I'm down.
Yeah, this game looks like a lot of fun. I'm gonna have to get me a copy.
Yeah. And I like the randomized loot, too. Like, I always hate games where everybody gets the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like, where it's like, you know, my flaming sword is the same flaming sword you get, and it's the same flaming sword the other guy gets for doing the mission. Like, I like the randomized, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I also spend way more time analyzing my items under those circumstances, but, you know. Hey, it's okay. I like doing that. I like crunching numbers. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool though. I'm digging it. And it was free, so I'm especially
digging it even more, man.
Yeah. You know, I hate when people say, you know, price shouldn't affect how you feel about a game, and I'm like, nope, totally does.
Oh no.
Some of my favorite games are the ones I got late for cheap and was like, wow, this is awesome.
Yep.
You know. Some of the worst ones are the ones you pay full price for, and you're like, this is a flaming turd.
Shit.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you, speaking of, did I ever tell you, it was like a couple weeks ago, I was on Xbox Live, and they're like, oh, get Madden 16 for like $30. I was like, oh, you know, I was never planning on buying this game, but for half off, you know, I'll check it out. So I got it. This is on a 360, by the way. And I started playing it, and then I realized this is literally Madden 25 with updated rosters. Like, they didn't do much to change it. Like, it was just complete shit. Like, the one thing they added was different types of passes for the quarterback. So you can lob it, you can line drive it, you can throw it, you can lead the player. They added different ways to do it. And I was like, well, that's cool. You just didn't change shit in this game. Like, you just released the same thing, just rehashed it. Like, there's no upgraded features or anything. I was very disappointed. The franchise mode was the same. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, you can't. I understand this is last gen, but like, you couldn't change anything. Couldn't change shit. So I definitely called them up and was like, I need a refund. Fuck this game. This is the worst.
Man. Yeah, that's how they got me last year to buy Madden, though. They came with the discount price, and it's like, okay, like $20, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I played it like 3 times, so it was probably not the best use of $20, but I've done worse with $20, so, you know. There was that time in Singapore. I don't want to get into that right now, though.
Singapore.
What I do want to mention, though, is another game I played, Broforce.
All right.
This was a good month This was a good month to be a PlayStation Plus subscriber because got Broforce for free and got Galaxy for free. So
okay.
Yeah. So I was very happy. I was like, cool. Games I wanted to try. Galaxy, not for me. It's cool. I could see why people would love it. It's just not going to do it for me. I don't like games where I have to like use a thruster and hold a direction to move. I just want to hold a direction and go. So yeah,
I get
those kind of games just, I don't know, they bother me. I feel like I'm way too imprecise with that. But there's a lot of cool stuff going on with that game. I may play it a little more, but probably not much. Broforce though, Broforce is goddamn hysterical. I don't even know how to term it exactly. It's just a game that's funny. If you like, you know, action movies and stuff,
yeah,
you know, there are just cut-ups of so many characters, you know. I mean, you got like the Arnold Schwarzenegger one, the Rock, or the Rambo one, the Die Hard. There's one for Blade, one for MacGyver.
Mr. T.
Yeah, there's the Mr. T one. I mean, there's just they pretty much hit everything. You know, when they pulled out Blade, I was like, whoa. You know, like, like the game does not seem like the kind of game you would play with a sword, but it works.
Oh man,
What's
that's
crazy?
Pretty cool.
Unless I'm messing something up though, you don't get to pick who you use. Like every time you die, you just get a different person.
Oh really?
Yeah. And it seems to be
That's
it just seems to be like random. So yeah.
So you get Woody Harrelson's character from what's that movie? Oh man,
I
is it
don't know.
Natural Born Killers?
Oh, okay, yeah, probably. Yeah, it's funny because you have to, like, basically all you do is you go into the level, you have to rescue people and get to the end of the level.
Mm.
Every so many rescues, you unlock a new character to your rotation.
Okay.
So the first rescue you get, I think you automatically unlock the next guy, but then it'll start telling you at the end of each level, like, 2 more rescues to next unlock, you know.
Ah.
So you'll have to, like, unlock more and more, and it gets more spread out.
Okay.
You know. And then the ways you can kill people are just, it's great. Like, you could, you know, if you blow them up or, you know, you just shoot them, at the end of the level it does, like, this running chart of how you killed everybody, so you watch them all, like, explode and blow up and get squashed again. And it happens in, like, 5 seconds. It's, like, super fast, like, just, it shows you all the guys who got killed and how they died. And it also shows where you died with your guys. You know. It is over the top ridiculous, but it's pretty fun, but it's pretty hard too. Like the first stage was simple. I had nailed everything. It wasn't that hard. And then I got to the second stage and the difficulty started ramping up. They just start dropping like swarms of dudes and it's one hit, you're dead.
Oh damn.
Yeah, it's old school. So yeah. It's cool though. I'm probably gonna play that some more. That's kind of fun. I haven't played a multiplayer yet. That's the one thing that could either be more fun or more incredibly frustrating.
Is it multiplayer, like co-op?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if that would, like...
It seems like a mass chaos.
Yeah, and it's like those multiplayer Mario games, like, they advertise them as, you could play together, you know? And it's like, no, you can't. No, you can't. You gotta have, like, 2, like, expert people doing it if you want to be efficient in any way. Because,
you never played like Super Mario Wii with 4 players?
Yeah, it's fucking chaos.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's like the Jerry Springer show. I mean, it's nuts. You know.
Oh man, I enjoyed it.
Anyway, I'm digging Broforce. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so good month for PS Plus subscribers. Can't complain there. You've been playing anything, man?
Yeah, I've been, so I want to say like around Valentine's Day obviously last month. Around Valentine's Day, Sega had a Make War Not Love promo. So
I've been seeing that advertised.
Yeah, so for like a week straight, every 2 days or 48 hours, they would give out 3 free games. And a lot of it was like older stuff. But in return, you just played like, I think it was 3 games. It was Total War Attila, Warhammer Dawn of War 2, and I can't remember the other game because nobody played it. But yeah, so you played those 3 games, and whoever had the most time between everyone that's playing it, that game would be up for, I think, free or for a discount. But the 3 games that they would give you were like legit, like decent games. Some were from like old school Genesis time, some were from Dreamcast era. So I've been playing Jet Set Radio. Yep. Hell Yeah, which is, I don't even know when that came out, but that's a pretty funny game. And Binary Domain, which is a quality over-the-shoulder third-person shooter / RPG / squad-based. That's the one I've been playing the most. Yeah, that one's quite interesting. You
were trying to tell me about this before the show, so
yeah, it's pretty much kind of how Gears of War was, except now you control your players. You can control them with voice actions or by buttons. The only negative I have about that game is the voice action. Like, it's shit. It doesn't recognize anything you say. I've tried 2 different mics. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. And it's simple stuff like just say fire, just say charge, just say yes. It's like, no, you don't recognize shit that I say. Other than that, it's got nice elements. The story is nice. It's got an RPG feel in that you can upgrade both you and your squad. And different squad members have different roles. The AI was the most interesting part. you're fighting mainly robots, and they come at you in waves of like 6, 7, 8. This is just the beginning, and in the beginning they tell you like you can shoot your legs, and then they can't shoot at you because then they just crawl at you. You're like, oh, well, that's a cool feature. And then you can shoot them in the head. You shoot them in the head, they'll turn on their own guys because they have no idea who they're shooting at anymore. So they'll just start tearing apart their own people. I was like, well, that's cool. But the one thing that got me was that they will react to how you are playing. So if you guys are just staying in cover in one spot and you don't move, they'll just start charging you full on and hopping over barriers and coming at you from behind. Or if you start moving, then they'll start ducking and hiding and getting into cover. And I was like, well, this is nice. So depending on how you play, the AI will actually change it up, which gives it a nice, fresh feel. But yeah, I think with the gun upgrades, armor upgrades, you've got nano machines, which are like boosting your stats. The fact that you can actually upgrade your own people is really nice. It's a quality game. I want to probably play some more. I'm probably going to finish the story. The story is pretty interesting. Very nice elements of the story. Kind of dark kind of story, I would say. But it's legit. I recommend that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Hell Yeah is an interesting platformer. You play as Lord Ash, I think is his name, who's like the king of Rabbit Hell. And somebody leaked some photos of him doing some nude photos or whatever. And so now he's on a vengeance trying to find out who did it. He's killing all these souls. But you get these different weapons. You get the first two you get is a chainsaw and like a minigun or a rocket launcher is what it is.
I'm already liking this.
Yeah, and you go through and you have to kill off these minions. You have minions, and apparently you have to kill them, and you collect their souls so you can open up the doors to get to the next part of the level. In the beginning, they're pretty easy, but they get pretty difficult later on. And then at the end of each stage, you obviously have a boss fight. And the boss fights are actually well designed. They're very well designed. The first one, you fight this guy who's fire, and he's shooting fire at you, but you have to shoot rockets. You have to like dodge his rockets while you're shooting your rockets. He's blowing things up. He's shooting off bombs. You got to dodge them. It's pretty nice. It's a very comical game. A lot of like cheesy comedy in there. A lot of dialogue between him and his minions, or him and the boss fights, and because they're all friends. Like this is hell. This is his domain. And now he's going around killing everybody until he can find out who leaked the pictures. And it's a fun game. So that's really all I have to say. It's a nice little platform, very different from what I've played.
I like rocket launchers and chainsaws, man. You had me at that.
Yep. And then you get like a minigun later on. That's as far as I got, but I assume the weapons get better. And you can swap out the weapons that you have. I think the chainsaw is the regular one that he has, and then you swap out the guns. But yeah, if you like cheesy comedy with dead rabbit, check it out, man.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you see, and everybody's been complaining. That Chris BCGC doesn't play any games. Well, there you go. He's playing games, guys.
I decided.
Give him a break.
There wasn't people in WoW at the time. I was like, you know what? Let me check out these other games. Maybe I'll start streaming them. And then Jet Set Radio. That was an interesting game. I remember playing it, but I don't remember playing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Like, I maybe played it for like 30 minutes at a friend's house once. But then I played it again. I was like, this was very simple. It's not like you play Tony Hawk and it's all like you got to hit the jump right, and then you got to just like button mash until you get the skills right and then land it. Whereas this is like, no, man, there's not much to doing the abilities. You just kind of got to make sure you land on the rails right, or you do the jumps right, or you time the turbos right. It's like this is a refreshing game. The music is very music is probably the best thing about that game. And then I remember
the soundtrack being pretty cool. I was never a big fan, but I just knew from like all the critical praise and all the people like that it was a good game. It just I don't know. It never clicked with me.
It's a simple game. Like, there's not much to it, really. Like, control-wise, it's very simple to get into, and it's a little fun, like, arcade game. You can swap off between people. And then the graffiti is a really cool touch to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was not disappointed in any of the games I played.
Well, that's good, man. Good to see you got some gaming in. I know you've been busy a lot lately. So.
Yeah, it was a nice touch.
And, you know, WoW was your monogamous relationship there in gaming.
Yeah. I'm trying to branch out. Gotta get into more stuff, you know. Oh, you know what? I played another game.
Wow, okay.
Yep. Tropical Form. I bought this game maybe 2 years ago. It's like a government...
I'm surprised you made it here today. That's like falling down like the sieve hole, isn't it? Like, you know... Like,
kind of. Yeah, kind of like... It's
not like, as deep, but...
Yeah, but there's points where, you know, you can actually quit off. Like, you're not... Because it's not like... Civ is turn-based, so like certain things will take a certain amount of turns to do, so you know when that's going to be complete. Whereas this one, it's all based, it's time-based. So like you run out of money, you can't do shit until your next import comes in, and then you export all your shit and get your other shit. Like you can't do anything with that.
Dude, so, that sounds scarily like there's going to be like a free-to-play version come in with like. Buy your next import now.
When I was playing it, and it was like, make your building, or you can like quick build your buildings too. And I was like, oh shit, this is going to be freemium at some point.
Yeah, the fact that it's not, you're not saying that it is throwing me off because I always expect or throw money at the screen now. Like,
yep, and like I'm playing it, I'm like, this. How have they not done this yet? This will get them a lot of money.
Interesting.
Grand strategy game with microtransactions. Yes.
Okay.
But no, that's a fun game. I like the whole style of it. I like the music they have. It's very Caribbean, Latino, Hispanic style of music. The fact that you can be a dictator. It's like, okay, all right. I mean, you could be good if you want, and then trying to balance out the U.S. and USSR relations. It's like, this is a fun game. Got people hating you because they don't have a church, and you're just like, man, fuck you. All right, that's not what I'm building this island for.
This is an island of commerce.
It's really interesting, and so they have the campaign, and then they have like different small missions you can do on your own, like not part of the campaign, and then they have sandbox mode. And in sandbox mode, you create your leader, and they give you so much stuff to change up, which change the stats around. And it's like, oh my god. Like just reading all of them and trying to figure out where I want to go, I'm just like, oh boy. I think there was like 30 traits that you can choose from. You can only choose 3. And then there's like 20 background things you can choose from. You can only choose 1. It's like, man. But it's interesting. It changes how the game starts off, and they're all comical too. That's the fun part about it. They never. It's not a serious game. It's a very fun game.
Okay. Hey, I'm a Borderlands fan. It doesn't all have to be serious to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot.
I had that extra day off, man.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Okay, well, before we get into the big topic of the show, there was one news item I wanted to talk about because it was kind of relevant to me, and that was the not quite closure of Lionhead Studios.
Not quite.
Well, they haven't officially closed the studio.
Oh, I thought that was...
But they've closed the studio.
I thought because it was, like, Europe-based or UK-based that there was, like, weird things with that.
I heard something that it has something to do with that, but I don't know if that's true or not. So, yeah.
Makes sense if it was.
But, I mean, it seems like it's a dead studio one way or another.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I was just a big fan of Fable. It wasn't the best game. I remember the first game was like the typical Peter Molyneux promise the world and give you an island, you know.
Yep.
But I kind of liked the island. Like,
dude, I love Fable.
It had a cool aesthetic and feel to it, you know. Mm-hmm. So the gameplay systems and especially the god awful UI that those games had, you know, drove me crazy. But
the UI was bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just the feel of that game though, and the way you had so much impact and influence over the world, you know.
Yes, that's what I really liked about it. Like, not only the world, but yourself too. Like, depending on what your choices were, your character changed. And it was like, this is a great feeling how people reacted to you when you walked into towns. Like, this is what I like, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember, I forget which Fable game it was. It might have been 3. Where I was evil and I had kids, and my kid was a rotten son of a bitch. Like, and I was like, whoa, I'm a bad guy. I want him to be good though. He's a kid, and he was like an evil little kid. And I was like, this is messed up, man. I was like, maybe I gotta like change my ways or redeem myself or something, like, you know. And then I was like, wait, that kid isn't real. Like, but you know, for that minute there, your brain starts spinning, you know?
Yep.
So.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I remember the first one, towards the end of the game, depending on how you align, your character would become like the God mode looking character, you know. He's got the white hair, he's got the halo above him, he just looks pure. And then when you're evil, start getting the horns and the tattoos like on your face. It's like, oh, this is great. I love this. Like, I don't know what I want to do, man.
You want to cast the Berserk spell and then save your game and reload.
Yes. So now you're just this giant steroided devil. It's like,
muscle arms.
Yeah. Oh man, I love Fable games. I will say that they've kind of gone from that, and it kind of bugs me. Like, they could probably do a lot more in the new systems, but it's done.
Yeah, I kind of felt like they did keep running the same loop though with the games. Like, they didn't really spread their wings and try something different. But then again, they tried 2 different things and now they're gone. So maybe they should have just stayed on the treadmill. I don't know.
Yep.
You know.
Was it Fable: The Journey?
Yeah. I don't know anybody who said, yeah, I loved Fable: The Journey. Like, I don't know anybody who said that.
It was like almost all the Kinect games that came out, like Star Wars Kinect, it was just like nobody wanted that. Nobody did.
Yeah.
And they all flopped. It was like Microsoft fucked a lot of studios over, I think, with that. And then Lionhead just decided, you know what, we need this.
It's not fair to say they decided. Microsoft may have told them, like, hey, we need like a Fable MMO, like, make it happen.
Yeah, I think that was it. I think that could have been it. But man, if we just had a normal Fable game that was actually in the Fable universe,
that seems
expanding off what they did.
With the revelation of this news, it seems like that's what people are most upset about. Is like, we never got a Fable 4. Like,
yep.
You know, now Lionhead might be gone. That doesn't necessarily mean Microsoft's going to like bail on Fable, because if I'm right, they own the IP.
They do.
Yeah, I mean, they could just as easily turn around and say, you know what, who do we want to make the next Fable game? You know. Yeah. So, I mean, Fable may not be dead, although it seems like all they care about right now is, like, bro shooters and racing games.
But Peter Molyneux, he was the brain behind the Fable series. Like, you can't take another Fable.
I think he had a lot to do with the first one, but I think his role was diminished on the second and third ones.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was starting to step away from Lionhead at that point.
You know what? Yeah, they did it. Because the first one had a lot of like gimmicky stuff that like made the game a lot better. Maybe gimmicky isn't the right word for it. They had a lot of things in it that kind of felt like him. Like the whole good or bad, or how people see you in the cities, and how the cities react to a lot of things, and how the world changes.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was all him, and they just kind of kept that same thing going on, and maybe added some extra features to it. Was it 3 that allowed you to have the kingdom?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think he would have done that.
I don't know. Maybe.
It was a nice touch, though. I'll tell you that. It was a very nice touch.
You know what was interesting, and I heard this on a podcast this week. You don't have to tell me how you feel about this, but somebody mentioned it, and I had forgotten about it, that they loved Fable pub games. Do you remember that? The XBLA game?
Oh, no, I never played that.
Okay. Well, did you play the ones in the Fable games?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did they have a separate, like, side game?
Yeah, it was an XBLA game, and it was 3 mini games.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's cool.
They were good, man. I spent a lot of time playing Fable pub games.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I wonder if maybe we'll get something like that at some point. Like a small studio put together another Fable pub games too, and float it out there to see if there's still interest in the series.
I'm trying to remember what the pub games were.
Oh, gosh, I can't really remember the names right now. You could wiki them if you want. I remember Shove Halfpenny, which was their goofy shove a penny game.
Oh, yes!
Yeah.
You remember that one.
Yeah, that's the only one I remember, because I remember I didn't know what the hell the name was until somebody in the game actually said it.
And that was a different studio, too, if I recall.
I don't know.
Yeah, they partnered with another studio for that.
Yeah, I don't know. Fable pub games, though. Loved that game. Could never 100% it.
Huh.
Could never get that damn Keystone achievement.
Yeah, I remember the penny one. Apparently there was like a solitaire. There's like a blackjack type of game.
Actually, you know what they need to do? Make that available for Windows 10. Like, throw that in there. Like, here.
Oh, like how they used to do with
Solitaire and Minesweeper and all that. Like, Fable pub games, man. Yeah. Oh, God, Ski Free. Wow.
I used to play the shit out of that.
Oh, this is funny since we're going to go back in the time machine. Mm-hmm. My son asked me something. I can't remember what it was the other night, but he asked me something about something that's been in Windows for a long time. And I said, Jim, that goes all the way back to Windows 95. And he says, Dad, they had computers in 1995? And I was like, yeah, they had computers in 1995.
Oh,
it's
man.
Like, nobody had the internet, like, I don't think I knew anybody who had the internet until, like, 1996. So,
yeah,
it was just starting to come around at that point.
That was when the AOL discs were floating around.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, yeah, it was funny. He had no clue.
Oh, man.
And then it led to this whole conversation, and my kids asking me, like, well, what did you have in 1995? And I was like, well, we didn't have HD. That didn't exist. There was no HD.
Grabbing your antennas.
I was like, there was no on-demand. I was like, there were no flat screen monitors. Like, everything was CRTs. What else did I tell them? I was like, nobody had a cell phone. They
were around, but this just for the rich.
Yup. Yeah, like, it... And they were like, how did people get in touch? And I was like, we had landlines. They were like, what's a landline, It was funny. It's so funny. I'm like, man, it hasn't been that long, but that much has changed.
Dude, it's as soon as we got the internet, that's when things said, boom.
Yeah, there was...
Technology just exploded.
It was like Usain Bolt, man. It was gone. Shit just took off.
Because when you think about it, like, Nokia was like the main phone back then. You get one of those Nokia bricks, you're good for a long time. You got the custom plates, all that, and then they started doing flip phones. And then they started, all right, let's make them smaller. It was just like, it just kept going. It was crazy. Yeah, BlackBerry came out. People realized they wanted email and stuff on their phone, and then it just kept.
I love that there's like a bell chart out there for like, you know, the size of your phone.
Oh yeah.
You know, because it was like big, big, big. Get them smaller. Get them smaller. Get them smaller. Get them smaller. Big, 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 big. Nobody cares. Like, need more screen space. You know.
That's all it is. It's crazy how that works.
Yeah, I remember everybody being crazy over the Motorola Razr, man. Like, you know.
Everyone had a Razr.
Oh, jeez.
Homes.
Yeah. And then it was like, hey, look, internet phone. And people were like, wait, I need the biggest screen possible. I need a movie theater in my pocket. You know, right now. So, all right. We got way off the path there, but that was kind of fun. Let's get to this. What's that?
Something's going to lead into the topic.
Yeah, actually, it does kind of, doesn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like a wayseg or whatever that's called. I love messing with you, man. Yeah, no, but so we wanted to talk a bit about this idea Microsoft have kind of floated out there this week of consoles being something you upgrade every couple of years. And, you know, one of the things they did reference was like that people upgrade their smartphones a lot.
Yep.
You know, and people are kind of trained every like year or two, you got to get a new phone because, you know, that's what they want you to do. And I don't know. This was a hot topic at work, man. The dividing line was strong. It was bold. It was like 75 font. It was a very noticeable line. But I guess your initial thoughts on the idea of upgrading a console.
I'm interested in the idea. I don't know if it's because I like... No, you know what? No. I am interested in the idea. And the reason why is I enjoy the idea of having that option. Like, the one thing I like about the cell phone market is you have an option to choose which device you want. You don't have to upgrade. You never did have to upgrade. Well, if you wanted the features, yes, you would have to upgrade. But, like, you never were forced to do so. And so I think if you have a console and you're like, hey, man, if you want a faster console, you can get this pack you can add on, slap it right in, bam, done. Or, hey, if you wanted to add, I don't know, you hate the resolution idea. But, like, if you wanted to have, you know, a faster graphics processor, just like, all right, here, you can pop this in. You know, I like the option that they give people. Now, I know that it could give people. I know that people aren't, like, the general people that buy the consoles, like, the majority of it aren't the hardcore gamers. They're the guys who are just, like, mom and dad went in and bought them a system, or they just wanted a system so they could play a game for the next 6 years, you know? And it's like, well, that's them. But then you also have a small group who's like, you know, maybe we can upgrade. You know, maybe if we want to add this to it. And I think it's not a bad idea if Microsoft knows how to make it so that developers don't have that issue. So if you do upgrade it, it doesn't change any of the architecture in there. Like, they would have to figure out a way to make it seamless. Like, there's no issue between the software that comes out for Xbox base and then a software that comes with, like, an upgraded console. Yeah, I don't think that changes. I mean, it works on PC minus the graphics processor. That's where the issues come in. But, like, if you swapped in and added more RAM, there'd be no issue. If you add a new graphics card in there, you're probably just going to have to upgrade your own drivers, and then it works with the game. And I think if Microsoft decides they want to make their own processors that work in the system and don't change it, then yes, it'll work. It just probably can't open it up to third parties, because that's where you're going to get issues.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm conflicted about this myself. See, I'm one of the, like, more hardcore people, so if they offer upgrades, I'd probably jump on it and do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it goes against the nature of what a console is supposed to be. You know? It's supposed to be a box, and you buy it, and it works, and it's good for a few years, and that's it. Like, it's supposed to be the clean and simple path to gaming. You know, you want to get into complicated gaming, go play mobile games or play on PC. You know, if you want to upgrade, you want to be an upgrader, you want to stay right on top of the bleeding edge. You know, that go PC. It's all sitting there for you. You know, and that stuff's fun, man. I've been on both sides, so I kind of have a lot of experience to draw from. If they offered upgrades for consoles, I'd probably be in, but I think it would create a lot of logistical problems.
In what way?
Well, first off, you got to remember, most of the consoles that get sold are not the hardcores. Like, the hardcores are the small segment of the gaming population, you know. So most of those numbers, like, if you look at the 150 plus million PlayStation 2 sold, most of them were casual gamers. Like, probably over 100 million of those were casual gamers. So what happens is, you know, let's just say you're like regular dad, right? And you just want a console, you know, and you're like, oh yeah, a couple guys from work are playing this game, you know, I'm gonna go buy a PlayStation 4 and play the game with them, you know, whatever. Something to do once a week when I get home from work, you know, Tuesday night Destiny or something, you know, which is probably a pretty common occurrence. Well, if that guy walks into the store and there's, you know, PlayStation 4, you know, version 1, PlayStation 4 version 2, PlayStation 4 version 3, and then there's all these boxes of upgradable parts for different ones, you know, it creates this issue where it's like, you know what, I don't even know what to buy, like, and you walk away, you know.
But they do that already.
No, they don't.
There's do it.
One PlayStation 4 SKU. There's just different pack-ins.
At the end of every console generation, right, there's always, like, think of the 360. You have the original Xbox 360 white, right? And you have the different memory versions of that. So you had the 4 gig, no hard drive, and then you had the one with the hard drive, which I can't remember what the starting one was. Then you had the Xbox.
You had the core system. You had the core and the Pro when they launched.
Yep. And then you have the Elite. And then you have the Slim. It's like you have all of these versions of it, and it still confuses people. Which one do I buy? I know a lot of people who just bought the arcade version because it was cheaper and realized, oh, God damn it.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out, PlayStation did the same thing, right? Okay. They had a 20 and a 60 gig console at launch. Then they had a 40 and an 80. Or maybe it was 40, 80, 20, 60. I forget which way it went. But basically, that was what last generation was, like, playing around with that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And you know what changed this generation? Nobody's doing that. One SKU for both systems.
There's no memory change in those? Or storage?
Yeah, well, the storage does, but storage is the one thing you can upgrade that doesn't matter, because it just means more space for your stuff. Doesn't change the ability to play games in any meaningful way.
Yep.
And I think you'll always see that. Like, even if like consoles don't do upgrading, storage will always increase. Because when this generation started, it was like, oh yeah, 500 gigs. That's awesome. Like, after last generation, where I had an 80 gig PS3, I'm like, 500, sweet, we're good. And then developers were like, oh yeah, but the games are 30 or 40 gigs now. And it was like, well, that's not enough then. Like, you know. So now they're doing the 1 terabyte ones, you know. I've got 2, so I'm good. But, you know, like I said, if you let me upgrade, I'm going to do it. But I think what you saw, though, was that people got confused last generation with a lot of that stuff. There were probably a lot of sales left on the table because people didn't know what to buy, you know. So I think what you've seen, if they've tried to unify the SKUs and just be like, here, you want Xbox One, you go in the store, you buy the box, you go home. Done. You don't have to worry about it. The only choice is which packing game do you want, you know? Do you want the adult package or the kid package, you know? Or you going home with Gears of War, Disney Infinity, you know? Like, it's pretty simple.
They already have the Xbox One, and then they have the Xbox One Elite, which is just the terabyte, right?
I think the Elite is the one that comes with that special new controller.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you already have 2 versions of it, right?
Yeah.
pretty simple. Those are your base products. Now, you probably have to release another one when you do the add-ons. And then that's the one that you can upgrade. So then you have like the Xbox One upgradable unit. And then you can swap parts out of that. Like you don't sell, which they're probably going to do, which I'm going to hate them for doing it. But you don't sell version 1, version 2, version 3 of different upgradable parts. You just have it so it's easy to just swap in, swap out. So like, you remember how PS2 had the expandable slot? All you had to do was pop that thing in and plug it into the back, and boom, you're done.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to talk about major redesign of the consoles then.
Oh, yeah, I assume that's what they're going to do.
Because you're going to run into warranty problems because people are going to have to open up their systems to get to stuff you didn't intend for them to get to when you started this console cycle. You know?
Well, no, you make it so they don't have to open it up.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. So now, just to even get this started, you have to launch a whole new system that's built around the idea of upgrading it. So now you've already added more confusion by having to add a whole brand new SKU, and it's going to have to be completely redesigned because it's not going to work within that casing they currently have.
Oh, no, it's not.
Yeah, so now you're going to have two totally different looking Xbox Ones out there, all right? One's going to be built for the upgrading, one's going to be the old one, you know? So you could purge off the old ones, which is usually what they do when they release a new model. They sell off the remaining stock of the old ones, and then they never redistribute them again.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't find a original Xbox 360. All you can find are Slims now, you know, unless they're used. The second problem you're going to run into is, let's say you want to do these upgradable systems, all right? Where are you getting the parts?
It's Microsoft. I'm sure they have a bunch of people that make parts that are just for their
Not
system.
Microsoft. I mean, it's the consumer. Where are you getting the parts?
Oh, from the store.
Really? Where's the store going to put them?
Store, you go to a GameStop.
Where's the store going to keep them?
Make room.
That's the problem, though. You have to buy that shelf space. So now you got to buy space for your systems. Now you got to buy space for your parts. You know? Now you got issues like somebody wants to go to the store and get the system and the part's not there. You know? You got to make sure you have all these SKUs under wraps because you got to have them all listed for like Amazon and Best Buy and all these things online too. You know?
I'll tell you what we did when I was at Target. When Xbox came out with the Slim, right? We still had the shelf space, which the majority of it was for the older version. Then, so we could purge that out. And then we had the Slim, and then I think it was like what was the Xbox Arcade? That's what it was called. So you had the Xbox 360 arcade version, one shelf spot for that, and then you had the 120 gig, I think it was, or 250, something like that. And that one was right next to it. Therefore, shelf space was already used. Now you just have different shelf space for different products. They never really changed the amount of shelf space they had. They just kind of shrunk one size and moved it down. It's usually what they do with a lot of new stuff. So if like Guitar Hero comes out, they just adjust that, whatever space they have that's for the Xbox, PlayStation shelf space. They just kind of move things over. Like, this doesn't sell that much, we'll move that up here. It's what department stores do all the time. It wouldn't take anything. They have Xbox accessories. They'll just take the accessories that don't sell, move that out somewhere, probably put it on the clearance shelf somewhere, and then boop, boop, pop up the new accessories.
Well, let me put it to you like this, Chris. You know, what are you going to do from a development standpoint for the guy who has the original Xbox One and is not interested in getting an upgradable console? He's just like, why? I have an Xbox One, it's here, it works, I want to play. Like,
well, what do they do for PC?
They have developed for all kinds of possibilities.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's, you know how many console developers would want to slit your throat right now? That's why you develop on a console. You only got to do it one time and it works.
The way I see it is they're going to make it so it's not harder on everyone else. I know that there are developers that are upset, but there's no information about it. If they go the way of different versions of the console and they only sell different consoles, then I can see some issues being going with that. But If it's just the same console and you just like swap apart, that's not going to cause any issues, as long as they keep the same architecture going on with that system. Like it doesn't change much. Then yes, there won't be an issue. If they make different consoles, there could possibly be an issue.
See, I think it's a bad idea on another front too, because consoles take time for developers to really figure out how to squeeze all the juice out of the orange. And like you look at the last generation, and you started with a game like Uncharted in 07, right? System's only been out a year. They got Uncharted. It looks okay, but it doesn't look great. You jump 2 years ahead to Uncharted 2, and holy shit, that looks really good. You know. Then you jump a little further ahead to 2013, if I'm right, and you're talking about The Last of Us, and you're like, wow, this is the maximum of what you can get out of this console. So it took 7 years, though, to get there, you know, like to find like the maximum juice you could squeeze out of it, you know, and it took 4 years just to get to decent, you know. So if you think about it in terms of that, where we're at right now, we haven't even really begun to see what these systems are capable of.
I get that.
Yeah. So I feel like the upgrades would just slow down that progression, you know, because now it's like, oh, well, now we have more hardware, so let's expand out, you know, let's make it bigger, let's make it better. Like, instead of working with that same toolkit and saying, okay, well, let's make it more detailed, you know, let's make it more efficient, you know, let's make the full product better. Instead, you're just constantly increasing the size of the project by giving them stronger hardware.
No.
Yeah.
I think
I think what happens is you get very locked into thinking about the way you want things.
No, I'm thinking in general, it shouldn't be much of an issue if Microsoft does it right.
What has Microsoft done lately to make you think they'll do it right?
Oh, they changed a lot of things from the release of the Xbox One to now. A lot of changes.
Exactly.
Changes.
Why did they do that?
Because they were failing.
Because they got it wrong. Because they screwed it all up. The whole launch was bad. Like, that's why they had to fix everything.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, them launching a new product sounds like the worst idea in the world right now. You know? Like, what they should do is focus on just doing what they're doing well and, you know, building for their next thing. Not trying to find escape clauses like, oh, well, we never really wanted to do this Xbox One thing in the first place. We really wanted to do this upgradable console. We just weren't ready. You know, like, revisionist history is dangerous. You know?
I think they could be a big splash in the gaming scene if it actually works.
No. It would be a big boulder making a small splash. Not enough people would care. They just wouldn't. That's just not what most console gamers are. You know,
I compare console gamers to those that buy cell phones. So the people that are like quick on to whatever the new iPhone is or whatever the new Samsung is are the type of people that I would see like, ooh, there's a new Xbox. Let me buy that because it's new, it's better, and that's what I see happen.
No, because see, you forget a cell phone is like something that you use every day and it touches every phase of your life. To most people, a console is just the thing they play games on. So as long as the game plays on it, there's no need to upgrade. That's why people don't buy the new systems when they come out. Like, not everybody has a slim 360, you know, not everybody has a slim PS3. Well, actually, they might, because those systems had some pretty good failure rates, but that's because the systems died, not because the systems didn't do what they needed. I just think it would be a pretty big failure and all, because they probably have to spend so much money putting together an infrastructure for all that, of redesign, re-engineering, all the money they'd have to invest, and what they'd find out is that probably only 10% of the console gamer market would care. And that's just not going to be enough to make it worth all that investment. And even worse, in the case that Microsoft's talking about, like, to, you know, keep the Xbox competitive and fresh, like, Sony wouldn't do anything. Like, they would just let Xbox upgrade. Like, they'd have no impetus to try to match.
I feel like if it came out and the Xbox made a big splash and started getting more sales, I think Sony would try something similar, because that's been their game plan since PS3. Like, they failed on the PS3, and so instead of, like, think about it, they don't release information out until everyone else has done it. Then they start bringing out what they're going to do, which takes ideas from what they've already heard another company do. And I think it's been working for them because they know how to take the ideas and then implement them correctly and then add to it. And I feel like Microsoft comes in and they do something like that and it makes a big enough splash, they'll consider something similar.
Well, and
probably make it better.
You're half right on this. Sony wouldn't just stand by if Microsoft did this, but what you're wrong is to think they would try to match. What they would do is release a slim PS4. And they'd be like, here's the hot, fresh new PS4, you know, and create a little more consumer excitement that way. Because everybody who doesn't have a PS4 that wants a PS4 will see the new slim one. And that same 10% that's interested in upgrading hardware is the same 10% that's pretty much interested in every new thing that comes out. So they'd be just as interested in the slim new PS4. And generally when they do these slim versions, they're more cost effective. So Sony would just make more money on every PS4 they sold, you know. And I think that's how they would fight back. They'd just be like, here, we have a new product too, and we're going to keep going to the bank. Because they don't really have a reason to not. Like, now if Microsoft started, like, making leaps and bounds, which I don't think they could, at least not through hardware upgrades, you know. And that might change that, but I don't think so. Like, Sony's trying to stay the course, build capital. You know, they've been a floundering company for a while now, and PlayStation 4 is kicking ass. And you see, whoever's in first always struggles. They drag their feet to move on to the next thing. So, I don't know. I think it would probably flop, and flop pretty hard.
I'm interested to see what happens. They're trying to get back into PC gaming since their games for Windows Live completely failed. Just completely shitty there. And yeah, I think with that idea they could do it. I think they could do something right here.
I don't even think they're going to do it.
I think they're done fucking up.
I don't even know if they want to stay in the gaming business at this point, shutting down Lionhead, but that's another thing. Like, you know.
Yeah, they've got other studios. Lionhead hasn't done anything worth mentioning since Fable 3.
I don't know. I mean, I hope they stick around, because if it's Nintendo and Sony, it's game over, man. Like, Sony wins by default. Because, you know, Nintendo can't even put their shoes on right in the morning at this point. You know. No. It's just that I think what Microsoft's doing is just kind of floating it out there, seeing what kind of response it gets. But I think in the end, it's not something they're going to do. It's just so much work on the hardware end with the engineering and, you know, working with retailers and educating people and messaging, which has been something they are terrible with lately. I mean, they've done such a poor job communicating. It's just, I don't see how they could do it. Yeah, it would. There are just so many things that could go wrong. I can't see how it could end up being a win or worth the effort. You know.
We shall see.
Like I said, I would do it, but just thinking about the way the consumers of the console market are, I just don't think it would fly. You know. Yeah. PC market, they're different. They accept that as life. You know. Like they're cool with that, but that's just not the way console gamers, generally speaking, are. You know. I hope they try it just because it'd be kind of interesting to see.
That's really what I want them to do.
Yeah, like it would be like the train wreck or the shooting star. Either way, you know, I get to watch. So, yeah.
The problem I'm going to have is if they do it like Nintendo did, where in order to play certain games, you needed that attachment. So you needed the Rumble Pack to play Donkey Kong, or no, it was the expansion slot that you needed to play Donkey Kong. If they do something like that, then
that was terrible. It was just dividing your market.
Mm-hmm.
And think how many people went home pissed because they bought one of them games and didn't realize they needed the thing and couldn't play the game they just bought.
We bought it used, and it didn't come with the expansion slot, so we're just sitting there like, how are we supposed to play this game?
Yeah.
No one at the store would have been like, hey man, you know you need the expansion pack for it. Fucking GameStop employees.
Yeah, that was terrible. That was crap. Cartridges suck. We can't do anything with them.
Yep.
64 megs. We're limited.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really the only example we have of anything specifically like that.
Didn't Sega do something like that?
They did that 32X thing. That was so different, though. That was, yeah, and utter rubbish. You know. And if you're trying to defend Microsoft doing it, you should never ever mention the name Sega. Like you just, you know.
I'm thinking of companies that did it and did it wrong.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, nobody's ever done it and done it well, so.
Yeah, Sony did with their...
I would think Microsoft's more likely to bail on this generation and start over than they would. Like, seriously, like, I could just see the Xbox 2 or the Xbox 361 or... what the fuck are they naming their next console, Chris?
I don't know, man. I don't even know why they call it Xbox One when everyone refers to the first Xbox.
Yes, I hate it. It was last week. We were talking about the controllers and...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, it was so bad. Yeah, terrible decision. I don't know what they were thinking.
Entertainment all in one. That's what they were thinking.
Yeah. That's what I think about that. Yeah.
I mean, it's what they're doing with...
you could have done that with any name. You know, the Xbox Blade, and you could have done that, you know.
I think what they're doing is not correct. So, like, you know how... Well, Google tried it. I think they're starting it up again. Where Google will have their mobile platform, right? When they bought out Motorola. So then you had Motorola, which was separate from everything else that Google did. And then you had, you know, their Google, you know, their whole Chrome and all that stuff. That was separate from the search engine. And then you had something else that was separate from, it was like you have different parts of it. Like Lenovo has Motorola now. So they have Lenovo for computers, tablets, and all that, and then they have the Lenovo Mobile. It's like if Microsoft would just branch out and just have, we have Windows for your computers, we have a mobile version of all of that, and then we have the gaming section. It's like you need to separate that shit. You can't try to bring it all together. Just keep it separate. Maybe have options where you can sync them or something. Like that's what they need to do, and they're trying to bring it all in one, and it's very stupid.
I love how you went on this great, like, you know, explanation of everything, and then ended it with, and it's stupid.
I don't get it. Like, I get what they're trying to do, but they have two of the three can work. Mobile and PC can work. That makes sense, as long as they don't change the way the PC version looks. But now you have a gaming console and you're trying to synchronize them? Like, that's a tough thing. That's a tough thing to... I
never want any device to be downgraded in capabilities so it can have more cross functionality with a lesser device.
That's the thing I'm thinking about.
Don't make my PC weaker so it can communicate better with an Xbox. Like, don't care.
And that's why PC and mobile work well, because they don't have to be downgraded. They can be their own separate power thing, but when you sync them, it works flawlessly. Like, that works. But I don't know how it can work with console yet. I know the streaming thing is something they've been doing for years.
Well, it's
Windows
better.
Media Center and all of that.
It's better this generation than last because both systems dedicated some amount of system memory to system functionality.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, if you remember on the 360, like if you were trying to play a game and you had a Wi-Fi problem, you had to quit the game to go fix it, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, well now you don't have to do that with the new consoles because they have certain amount of memory is blocked off from games and dedicated just to system functions.
Yeah.
So that you can use all those things while playing a game, which is great. What's even better was when I was on my PS4 and I first realized that I could have Netflix running, exit it, start a game, exit it, go back to Netflix, play it right where I was at, go back to the game, and I was like, it just remembers. Like, you used to only be able to do one thing at a time. Now it's
Only
like,
one.
I could be playing a game. Wife can come down when I watch a show. Sure, let's watch something on Netflix, you know. She got to walk away. Pause it. Back to the game. She comes back. Pause the game. Back to Netflix. Like, it's great.
Yep.
That's the way it should be. So, you know. And multitasking, man. Yeah.
That always bugs me. I never understood why the system couldn't multitask like that.
Oh, before I forget, I figured out what Microsoft's next console will be.
What's that?
It'll be called Xbox. And, like, certain systems will just, when the tray opens, the money will just shoot out. You know? And that's how they're going to get people to buy it.
Give me money. Alright, down with that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. It should go about as good as that Pauly Shore show where he offered to pay everybody $1 if they watched it or something. I forget. Can't remember the name of it.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Didn't watch it, didn't get $1. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Alright, well, before we get out of here today, Chris, anything else you want to bring up?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Well, guys, you've been watching the Collective Gamescast, episode 26. We streamed a little bit of The Division. We talked about upgrading game consoles, and Chris went on forever and ever and ever about all the games he's playing because he's got so much free time. Yeah. No, but you've been checking us out right here on twitch.tv/the_Malgadar. You can find our website for the show at the collectivegc.com. Almost messed that one up, Chris. You can also find the show on Twitter at the Collective GC. You can find me on Twitter at the Malgadar. You see it right there beneath me. You can find that guy over there. He's at ChrisBCGC on Twitter. You can also find the episodes on YouTube whenever I get around to exporting them. And thanks to everybody who checks this out. And we'll see you all next week. Say bye, Chris.
Goodbye, everyone.
No, you're supposed to say bye, Chris. Man.
Oh, my bad.
Maybe